What's the most fucked up thing you ever heard?
Back in my teenage years, there was this local mean kid. He was a couple of years younger, probably age 14, and yet was thuggish to everybody. But we personally were on mostly decent talking terms, as I always took the same bus as his gang and so kept civil as a survival instinct. One day, he abruptly got taken away by authorities, and we never saw him again. Turns out that he had been repeatedly raping his 4-year-old brother. He had managed to keep it going for a while, because he threatened his toddler brother that he would kill him if he ever told anyone. Toddler brother told someone. In the end, hence the authorities. Absolute insanity. Everyone was so appalled.
My cousin went on a work trip, and when she came home, she found her boyfriend dead in the living room. Their dogs had chewed off most of his face. I have no idea how she was able to cope with that kind of trauma. I feel sick just thinking about it.
I used to volunteer and live at an orphanage in Central America. We had volunteers from the US, Canada, and some European countries. I was getting to know a new volunteer from Canada, and we were kind of flirting back and forth, and all of a sudden she decides to tell me that her mother used to take videos of her father raping her, the volunteer. I was so stunned I couldn't even respond.
Earlier today, watched an interrogation on YouTube of a woman who starved her baby to death because instead of feeding him, she was doing lactation cam shows and selling the milk to strangers. She had no remorse at all.
A neck breaking at a rugby game. Dude died.
My uncle talking about killing my great-uncle. I don't know the whole context, but I believe my great-uncle sexually abused my mom.
In the 80s, my grandma went to visit her 6-month-old step-grandson who had Down syndrome, and found him severely emaciated with wounds on his body. His mother had been starving him, hurting him, and dropping him on purpose. He was almost dead when my grandma found him. My grandma got custody of him and raised him as her own. She has since died, and now all of her kids have helped take care of him. He's not blood related to any of us, but it doesn't matter, he's ours. Screw his bio mom.
I met this female trumpet player. She came home late from a gig. She stayed real quiet, kept the lights off, and got into bed next to her husband gently so as to not wake him up. The next morning, she woke up to find that he had blown his brains out with a pistol before she ever got home. She slept next to his corpse all night, and then woke up to find him like that.
That children can go through precocious puberty due to sexual abuse. Explains how the youngest mother ever was only 5 years old.
Pedos who claim little children are coming onto them.